Okay, gang, so if any of you have bought this new Bass XXL plugin from Denise Audio, I'm going to give you a little tip on how to get it working in Pro Tools. It's a little different than if you're using it as a VST in other programs. You know, Pro Tools AAX can be a pain in the ass. So the way that this works is, so I have this piano, this mini grand playing on a track. So what I will do is, after the mini grand, I place Bass XXL. And if you want the audio to move the Bass XXL harmonic with the notes playing, you need to pick MIDI right here, MIDI, so you can have note, frequency, or MIDI. You pick MIDI. But then what you need to do, this is an instrument track, by the way, this piano track is an instrument track. You can see mini grand up here, instrument all. Then you do a separate instrument track. And on that instrument track, I will show you, you copy the MIDI. So the piano is up here. I have copied the MIDI from the piano down to the second instrument track, which is called Bass XXL. But there's no plugin or anything on that track. What you do is you go to the MIDI output selector at the top of the channel. It's right after the MIDI input selector. You go to the MIDI output selector and you choose piano, which is, or whatever your track is called, and then Bass XXL channel 1, voila. And then now if I open the Bass XXL and I start playing the piano, watch what happens. So you can see that the notes were moving with the notes, with the bass notes of the piano. And if I took that off, you would really, really notice it, because it's adding quite a lot of heft to the piano, really beautiful heft. So if you're having trouble, as I was, getting Bass XXL to work in Pro Tools, that's how you do it. They have instructions in their manual, but they're not so clear, and it's a little more detailed than that, how you go about this. Follow what I did, and also, this can also help. Go to your preferences in setup and make sure that your MIDI default through instrument first selected MIDI track. Just make sure that that could also help, I think, a little bit. And that's how you get Denise Audio Bass XXL to work in Pro Tools. You copy the MIDI to a second instrument channel, not MIDI channel, instrument channel, and you route the output of that, the MIDI output selector, to the Bass XXL of the previous track, and set that to MIDI, and that will work. All right, I hope that helps. I hope that you find that useful. It's a really good plugin, check it out. But I've been going back and forth with them for weeks, and then they were like, oh, well, you gotta set the channel to input only monitoring. And I'm like, there is no input only monitoring on instrument tracks, and their instructions in the manual talk about instrument tracks. So that was a little confusing. But again, like I said, if you go to your preferences and set the default through instrument, that's sort of having input monitoring on your MIDI tracks without recording. But of course, if you're in record, you'll hear the track as well. So hope that helps. Let me know. Take care.